my MTL family. How y'all doing, friends? So if you have subscribed to my channel, thank you for becoming a part of my family. Now, if this is your first time watching, welcome, welcome, welcome. Now, if you don't watch my first two videos and you still ain't subscribed, what are you doing? This is More to Life, Motivation and Livelihood with Taryn. And today's video will be a more moments video, which simply means I'll be telling a story. Now, by the looks of the title, you already know this video is going to be about the loss of my mommy. Now, this is not intended to be so emotional and just crying. No, we not gonna do that. We gonna talk about it and we just gonna go forth with it, okay? But before we get into that content, you guys are expecting a special guest to appear here, right here on the More to Life Motivation and Livelihood channel. And that special guest is... Now, my MTL family know I love me a good drum roll, so y'all go ahead and give me a drum roll. Oh. The special guest is my mommy. Now, I know y'all on here like, yo, who? Yo, what? Nope. Y'all go ahead and stay tuned. It's my mommy, LaQuisha LaShawn Moore.
Because the Lord is my shepherd, I have everything I need.
Here she is. My girl. My girl. Now, Fur is what I would call her. My mommy. This is her urn with her ashes inside. And Fur will be appearing here on my YouTube channel every time I make a video. We're just gonna set her on the little table I got for her and then position the camera a little bit and we'll be right back with it, okay? Y'all give me a second. I want to talk about that day, that night, when everything happened. So my mom's official death date is July 10th, 2020, and they called her time of death at 12:04 a.m. midnight. 4 years ago, I went off to college, and when I graduated, I just stayed in my college town. Now, I went back home to my parents' house July 9th. And I actually saw my mom. If you have this type of relationship with your mom, you know exactly what I'm talking about when I say I talk to my mommy faithfully. And when I say faithfully, I mean daily. Ever since I went off to school, there was not a day I did not talk to my mommy. So that day I talked to her, and it's just... Yeah, that next day, I was on my way to Chicago with my little cousin. I actually know for sure the Lord was preparing me for this, and this is why. Because every time I'm on my way back home, on the highway, I'm on the phone with my mommy. I'm on the phone with my mommy. Now, and every time I go back home, first place I go to when I get off the highway is home, because I stay there. When I go home, I stay right in my room. That day, July 9th, I went straight home. And when me and my little cousin was leaving, she asked me, she was like, Jatarin, you not gonna stop by home? But she didn't know I had already stopped there. And I said, girl, I stop there every time I come home. That's the first place I go to. So, you know, we went about our trip. We got on the highway on our way to my house, and we just jamming to music, jamming. So like I usually would talk to my mom, I didn't talk to my mom. We get on down the highway, and me, my brother, my father, and my mommy, we all had a group chat. And every time I would get home, I would always let them know. I'm like, hey y'all, I made it home. And when I text the group chat, first of all, she'd be the only one that respond. My daddy and my brother always leaving me on red. They never responded. But my first, she responds to the messages. But that night I said, hey, I made it home, y'all, and there was no response from nobody. And me, I didn't think nothing of it, because when I left home, I'm like, okay, Fer was asleep. My dad was working on the air conditioner, and my brother was at work. I started folding clothes because I had did laundry earlier that day, and we put on Greenleaf to watch a little bit of Greenleaf. I'm folding up the clothes, and this was probably around 10:50, like 11 o'clock that night. And I get the phone call from my dad, and he's like, Jateri, your mama can't breathe, and the ambulance is on the way. Now, at that point, y'all, I'm just stuck. I just looked at my little cousin. I dropped the phone. I looked at her, and I couldn't even speak. I couldn't even speak. So I'm just looking at her face. She's like, Jatera, what's wrong? Like, Jatera, tell me what's going on. Spit it out, basically. And I'm just like, my daddy said my mama can't breathe. So I'm in just a panic mode. And I called my little cousin's mom. And I'm like, TT screaming in the phone, and she thinking something wrong with us because we hadn't let her know we made it. We made it back to my house, and she like, Jatera, what's wrong? And I'm like, trying to spit it out, and eventually I got it out. My mama can't breathe. My daddy said the fire trucks is on their way, so can you please go to the house? So I'm just, first of all, y'all, I'm miles away, and I can't even get to her. I couldn't do nothing but just sit there and just be in awe. That's all I could do. That's it. Now, as you guys get to know me a little bit, you will find out that I have a pre-medical background. My undergrad was in pre-med and human development and family studies. But I said that to say, when I got on the phone, when I was on the phone with everybody, all of that went out my head. All of it. It was almost as if I had learned nothing. I couldn't say anything. Immediately when my dad called me, I just felt numb. I mean, I'm just pacing throughout the house and just like, what the heck? But as I'm moving around in my apartment, I'm just like scared to call anybody, y'all. I didn't want to talk or hear from anybody because I didn't want them telling me something had happened to my mommy, right? So my little cousin was on the phone with her mom. She's going back and forth with me, giving me the information about my mama, telling me, you know, what the paramedics are doing, at their moves and everything they were doing. One person I did call was my pastor. And I called my pastor, and my exact words were, Pastor, I think my mommy just passed away. I felt it, y'all. I felt it. So if you remember in the beginning of the video, they officially called her time of death at 12:04 midnight, but my mommy had passed on the 9th. It was before midnight. I called my pastor, and I just felt it. I said, Pastor, my mommy just passed away. That's exactly what I said. And he said, no, baby, we're not going to think like that. We're going to wait to see what happens. And so I said, okay, well, I just need you to pray for me. I need a prayer. I need a prayer right now. So he prayed, and he told me to call him. I just got to say right now real quick, I am so I think I'm okay to sit up here and actually talk about this happening to me because my mommy is right here. She actually gives me strength, y'all, still. And I feel good because my mommy is right here in my presence. Her physical remains are, after my aunt told us that they got an IV started on her, it had been like 15 to 20 minutes later, because I kept telling my little cousin, you know, don't call back because I was just scared. And I'm like, it's been too long, and they still talking about they working on my mommy. She's gone. I gotta grab her. Hold on. And I'm like, you know what? I just asked my little cousin, I'm like, did they call time of death? And she said yes. And at that point, I just was like, no. I was just out, done. And I kept saying to myself, you know, what am I about to do without my mommy? And you know, right in the midst of going through death and everything, you just start to just think like, what am I about to do? I'm so thankful because that story, I've tried to tell that story so many times, and each time I can never really get through it. But today, I feel like I'm able to just get through it because my mommy is helping to comfort my heart. Honestly, she is. With my faith in her and my father, having both my little brother and I grow up in church. What did I just say? In church. With us growing up in church, I just feel okay. As far as how we are doing now, like my father and my brother, you know, it's really hard for us. My mommy was gone too soon, born February 12, 1975, and died July 10, 2020. I ruled her death as natural causes just because my mommy had a plethora of underlying medical issues that contributed to her passing away. By the grace of God, we are able to keep pushing on and keep it going. I'm thankful for that. I'm truly thankful and blessed. It's a tick. What? It's a tick. It's a tick that flew in my video. Anyways, my parents would have celebrated their 24th wedding anniversary on August 10, 2020, and they've been together for 29 years. So very long time. So that close-knit 4-person household, it's just like gone. For one of us to have gone so soon is just unbelievable. But again, I give all praises, all glory, and all honor to the Lord. First of all, I know he's able. And second, I know he's able to get us through anything, any trials, any tribulations, any hardships you come over in life, any challenges. It's happening to me already where people are feeling a little awkward, a little weird about talking about their mothers or referencing their mothers. And I have to politely say, don't feel weird. Don't feel awkward. I got my mommy. I have my mommy here. She's here. It's normal. It's life. People are going to talk about their moms. And guess what? I'm going to talk about mine too. I'm going to kiss her. I'm going to hug on her. And I'm just going to continue fighting through this hardship that I'm going through, these challenges that I'm dealing with my mommy being gone physically. But I'm okay. Before my mommy passed, we together came up, and I'm just like brainstorming. I always brainstorm, and any idea I sent to my mom, she like, girl, yeah. And if I hadn't followed up through with it, she was going to make sure I did. So when I came up with More to Life Motivation and Livelihood, if you guys remember, I was doing Facebook motivation videos, and my mommy was actually in my room with me, sitting right next to me while I did it. So there is no reason I should just sit on my behind and not do nothing. No, I'm going to use this as an inspiration. I'm going to use my mommy's death as an encouragement, as a motivation to other people, because you can do it. You can push through it. It's possible. And I'm going to continue to motivate throughout my YouTube channel, just as I did on Facebook when she was here. I have no intentions on stopping. No, I'm going to put her back over there. And I just got to say this. I am truly thankful I've had my mom for the amount of years that I did have her, because she taught me so much. She only had 2 kids, a boy and a girl. And as her baby girl, she taught me so much. And I'm so grateful and so glad. I cannot even express that enough, that the things, the amount of information, the amount of installation that she put into her children, the investments. I'm just thankful for that, for myself and for my brother as well. Because of how close me and my mom were, people actually thought I was just gonna lose my mind, do all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, well, how? In my head, at the time I was going through it, I just felt just so numb. It was just like an uncontrolled feeling that I could not get away from. I mean, just numb. And sometimes I'm having those feelings, and I don't expect them to go away because she just passed. Not once question my God, because I know everything happens for a reason. And when the Lord says your story has ended, your chapter is done, that's just what that means. There is no reversing that. And I believe that wholeheartedly. And the scripture that gets me through is Proverbs chapter 3 verses 5 through 6. And that is, trust in the Lord with all of your heart, and lean not to thy own understanding, but in all of your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. So there is no way I can sit up here and try to figure out why the heck my mom is not here physically anymore, because I would lose my mind. I would go into depression. I would become anxious and deal with anxiety. But why do I even want to do that when the Lord has a purpose? Now, I ain't gonna get on here and preach. Today, we will all have our time, and my mommy had hers, but guess what? She here with me. I'm glad I'm able to keep her physical remains right here, because, if I had to think about my mommy being in a cemetery with the possibility of people walking on her grave, I mean, doing all kinds of crazy stuff, now that would have probably had me to go off to kind of show people what's beyond this face. But we did it this way. So I have my mommy here in her beautiful arm. I have my necklace. Let's see if this so. Oh, it's showing a little bit, yes. Now, if you are not subscribed, come on and join the family. What are you doing? Especially if you watched my first 2 videos. What are you doing? We've been friends for way too long. It's 2 videos too long. We are supposed to be family by now. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and while you're at it, hit the notification bell. Make sure you come back next week, because we're going to have another video. Now, I just don't want y'all to subscribe. I don't want y'all to be like, what am I subscribing to? I don't know what I'm subscribing to. When you subscribe to this channel, you are making the commitment to build your own foundation of positivity in an effort to keep yourself motivated and encouraged. You subscribe and you go ahead and try. I will be talking to you guys next week. Bye.